Hey everybody, my name is Rick Carlson and I'm active duty military. I just left Alaska after being there for about 10 years in Fairbanks up at Fort Wainwright. I'm stationed down at Fort Jackson, South Carolina, and I have about 18 credits left to finish out my social work degree. Hoping to graduate and then when I retire here in a couple months, do my master's at the University of South Carolina. I'm married. I have 3 kids ranging from 5 years old to 25 years old, so I kind of got the big spectrum of parenting in right now, reliving a little bit of it. But I'm taking the class because it's mandatory for my degree, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty interesting class. I can relate to some of the anthropology. I mean, the need for it, obviously. We have in basic training just in my company, we are represented by 29 countries, Bolivia, Nigeria, Colombia, Ghana, Tonga, Kazakhstan, Ecuador, just for name a few of them. We got some from Cameroon, even Canada. So anthropology and learning about cultures and kind of understanding is probably, it's a pretty big deal for us. We obviously don't get quite the education that some of the soldiers would like us to have in understanding their culture at all the time, especially not in this environment. But I definitely think there's a need for the study. As far as what roles should anthropology play in Native Alaskan culture, it's definitely an education, I think, is extremely important. Because when I first came down in orders to go up to Alaska, everybody talked about, the cold, hunting and fishing, a lot of the positive things, and I didn't really learn a lot about the culture. And when I got up to Fairbanks, you're basically surrounded by the Native Alaskan culture just by population alone, and not having a lot of background knowledge, and it just kind of was a standoff issue. So once I kind of became a little more culturally sensitive and learned a little bit more just from watching things like the Native Alaskan games that are held all the time, and watching some of the neat things they do, and so learning about how they live, especially in the far up north and all over Alaska. But I always kind of like listening to how they live in the extreme up in Barrow, the extreme colds. It was pretty interesting. So I think as far as that goes, definitely the education that anthropology can impact. But the article just kind of hits on what I think is important, especially the very beginning of the article really kind of caught me off guard just because it didn't open the way I had imagined. Just to read a little bit of it. The history of anthropology relations with local communities includes many examples of insensitive data and artifact collection, these combined with general assumptions of scientific authority. So basically what I took from that is anthropology for a while really wasn't as defined and noble as it probably is today. It was a lot of opinionated stuff that gets published and distributed, and a lot of very jaded information comes. And I think anthropology has an obligation to do the truth and present the truth and respect, so we can learn accurate information, not just learning about cultures through our perception, but probably through their own perception, and they have a big impact on doing that, helping all the anthropology studies. To leave out the culture itself and just kind of observe and make determinations probably led us down a pretty bad path. At least it's what I kind of got from the article. It did go on to talk about a lot of the positive things, a lot of programs that they have, and I would imagine that there's a lot of cross community communications. It did touch on it a little bit with the archaeology, but I think it plays a large role, and especially with me wanting to be a social worker, having an understanding of my community and anybody that could possibly walk into my office once I become a social worker, it'll only help me, to do a little cross education with anthropologists or anything I can get my hands on to educate whatever population I'm dealing with. That's kind of all I got. Kind of happy to be in the class. We're looking forward to it. And I know I've commented on a few of the other videos, and hopefully you guys get some feedback, whether it's good or bad, on mine. Have a good day.